Coming up, a sad day for the Royal Bahamas Police Force family.
A man was gunned down in the Foxhill community last night.
Coming up in the Bahamas tonight, bus drivers here at Arawaki taking an extended lunch. Find out why and for how long.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
Following an early morning traffic accident, a police officer is dead. Good night, everyone. I'm Chris Saunders.
And I'm Charisma Robinson. Cleopatra Murphy, who was on the scene of the accident, has the details of what happened and how family members are coping.
Royal Bahamas Police Force mourns one of its own after police say a traffic officer lost control of his motorbike, crashed into a lamp pole, and died. Family members identified the officer as 25-year-old Letario Jerome Demerit. The mangled remains of the motorcycle ridden by the fallen officer marked the spot where Demerit died on John F. Kennedy Drive along Lake Killarney. Assistant Commissioner of Police Stephen Dean called today a sad day for officers.
Sometime after 9 a.m. this morning, one of our cyclists attached to the traffic department was traveling west on JFK in the area of the lake when he lost control of his cycle and crashed into a lamp pole. He succumbed to his injuries at the scene.
Dean would not confirm, but the fallen officer appeared to be a part of a procession escorting the body of Turks and Caicos' first female Speaker of the House, Dr. Rosetta Butterfield, to the airport for transport home. Visibly distraught, family members grieved on the sidelines. One female officer, held by another officer, cried. Demerit's cousin, Precious Demerit, said the family is heartbroken.
He was a genuine person, very humble. He was passionate about his job. He loved being a police officer. He was in cadets from high school. He always wanted to be a police officer. And it's so sad that it had to come to this.
She says the two grew up in the same house, and his loss is amplified by the fact that the family is still dealing with the death of her brother Shaquille Demerit, who was killed in the Foxhill shootout in December 2013.
Our family is still grieving from the loss of my brother. So it's like our hearts don't have time to heal before another tragedy hits, you know? So it's just a difficult time for us, very difficult time.
Demerit got married last year, and while his death is tragic, Demerit's cousin wants him to be remembered for the traits he displayed.
The loving person he was, the respectable person he was very respectful, decent guy. He loved his wife. That was his world.
Police are investigating the accident, and ACP Dean asks the public to pray for Demerit's family and members of the Royal Bahamas Police Force. Cleopatra Murphy, ZNS Network News.
Police were called to the Foxhill community late last evening after a man was shot in a vehicle at Blueberry Hill. Officer in charge of homicide, Chief Superintendent Paul Roll.
Sometime around 6:30 p.m., police received reports of gunshots being discharged here in the Blueberry Hill road area. Officers responded to the scene where they met a male sitting in a silver small vehicle suffering from multiple gunshot wounds about the body. EMS responded to the scene as well and pronounced this male lifeless. From preliminary, it seemed as though this male, for some reason, had occasion to stop when persons unknown accosted him and discharged several shots into his vehicle with the use of a shotgun, and fatally wounding him right here in his vehicle. We appeal to persons who may have information regards to this latest homicide to reach out to us. Information at this time is very sketchy, and that's about as much as we know. We do believe that the suspect left this area in a vehicle. We're not saying the type of vehicle as yet.
On many roads leading into downtown Nassau today, traffic was backed up during the height of early morning traffic. This as public service bus drivers protested on Arawak Key.
This as the main depot on Bay Street was moved further east on Bay Street. Carla Palmer tells us tonight this action left hundreds of passengers stranded and angry.
On this, the first day of the change of the bus depot in downtown Nassau, there was no shortage of irate jitney passengers expressing displeasure.
I think it don't make no sense because I'm a sick person and I got to walk so far to catch the bus. This is really don't make no sense at all.
This is a disaster. I was on the bus stop at 5 this morning. I caught the bus at 6:45 this morning. We had to walk from the post office this morning straight to the Hilton this morning. It didn't make any sense this morning. Our walk is too long. They need to do something about this fast.
I come out from after 7 this morning. No bus. I couldn't catch no bus from coming out to Michael Road. And I have to be to work for 8 o'clock. When we reach by C.R. Walker, you have to walk from C.R. Walker downtown to catch a bus. And this ain't making no sense.
So that they, before this gets any more out of hand, they let us know which routes we have to take in order to catch a bus to and from.
Possibly lending to the confusion was the limited number of buses in operation. Jitney drivers parked their buses at Arawak Key saying they are not working today. Signs in the buses read, "Out to lunch."
No one wanted to talk to us. No one wanted to consult with us. No one wanted to sit with us. So we decided to sit among ourselves.
That's bus driver, owner, franchise operator, and spokesman for the group, Levon Miller. Another representative, Nicholas Jacks, was also there.
The problem we do have, though, is that the Bahamas is still a democracy. It is not a dictatorship of any kind. And regulation or legislation of any kind without consultation is absolutely offensive.
They're now saying that the Royal Bank is a security risk. The bus stop being at the Royal Bank is a security risk. But what makes the Royal Bank more important than the transportation industry? Transportation is perhaps the most important aspect of any country's landscape or system. Because if we don't get the people to Bay Street, they don't get to work. And if people don't get to work, the country doesn't function. Okay, bus drivers, they're talking about the bank being robbed. Bus drivers get robbed on a daily basis. And nobody ever tried to do anything to prevent that. We want to meet with the minister and let the minister resolve this.
We have decided that we will not be moved until somebody speaks.
The bus drivers say they will remain unwavering in their attempts to have this entire matter resolved. Carla Palmer, ZNS Network News.
The country's new Chief Justice was sworn in today.
And a sad send-off for an official of the Turks and Caicos Islands. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Lux Men's Warehouse.